All right, hey everyone, Jeff here at StopThePirates.blogspot.com. If you haven't heard of it, this thing called the Cestui Que Trust, why should you care? So it dates back to 1666 in London during the Black Plague and the Great Fires of London. Parliament enacted an act behind closed doors called the Cestui Que Vie Act of 1666. You can actually go online and look that up. But they actually used this act too after the Civil War. It's basically the same thing. That's how we got put into the 14th Amendment. Legalized servitude role that we're in today. So how basically what it is, it's the Cestui Que Act was subrogated the rights of men and women, meaning all men and women were declared dead, lost at sea, beyond the sea. Back then, operating in admiralty law, the law of the sea, so lost at sea. Basically, they didn't know who was left alive and who was dead, so they just declared everybody dead. And then you were supposed to come back. Well, let's get into it. The state of London took custody of everybody and their property into a trust. The state became the trustee, or the husband holding all titles to the people and property until a living man comes back to reclaim those titles, and can also claim damages and reclaim using a UCC1 and a PPSA. The rule of the use of capital letters used in a name. When capital letters are used anywhere in a name, this always refers to a legal entity of fiction, a company or a corporation. No exceptions. It's capitis diminutia maximus. It's the furthest decline in any kind of rights or privileges or benefits anyone can have. So look on your passport, driver's license, marriage certificate, birth certificate. Not always on the birth certificate, but they are now. So the Cestui Que Trust, pronounced Cestui Que. A straw man is a common term in the United States. It's a legal entity. It's a fiction and created and owned by the government whom created it. So legally we are considered to be a fiction, a concept or idea expressed as a name, a symbol. That legal person has no consciousness, is a juristic person. In lingus, a name, word written on a piece of paper. This traces back to 1666. London is a state, just like the Vatican is a state, just like Washington, D.C. is a state. That's how they rule the world, too. They rule the world spiritually, I guess, or religiously through the Vatican, financially through the City of London, and militarily through the District of Columbia. These are all city-states that, it's not, Washington, D.C. is not part of the United States. It's completely, totally separate. It's a crown corporation. And the crown is an unincorporated association. And why is it unincorporated? Because it's private. The Temple Bar is in London. Every lawyer called to the bar swears allegiance to the Temple Bar, which is the British accredited regency or registry. You can't get called without swearing this allegiance. The Crown already owns North America and everything in it. Your only way out of this situation is to reclaim your dead entity that the Crown created, because the trustee of the Cestui Que Trust and become the trustee of the Cestui Que Trust, and remove yourself from the admiralty law that holds you in custody. See, when your parents sign the birth certificate and they create this trust and this entity, this fiction, you were born in what's called a foundling hospital. You're considered to be a kid with no parents. What do you call that? An orphan. So your mother stating that she has no, she's a pauper basically. She has no money, no means to support you. So she's going to leave you there. And this estate that they create, which is your portion of everything in the trust, um, it was placed into the trust, when you turn of legal age, you're supposed to actually go back to them and go, okay, I'm an adult now. Here I am. You can see me. I'm a live, living person, and I want to reclaim my trust. But they never tell us how to do that. So going back to London, when London burned, men and women's rights got subjugated. So basically, the Cestui Que Vie Trust Act of 1666 meant all men and women of the United Kingdom were declared dead and lost beyond the seas. The state took everybody and everybody's property into a trust. The state takes control of the living man or woman until they come back and claim their titles by proving they are alive, and claim of damages can be made. This is why you always need representation when involved in legal matters, because you're dead. The legal fiction is a construct on paper, an estate in trust. When you get a bill or summons from court, it is always in capital letters. Similar to tombstones in graveyards, capital letters signify death. They're writing to the dead legal fiction. And you don't know. You think they're talking about you. It's the hard one for a lot of people to let sink in, because they get letters in the mail with from whoever, the IRS, in all capital letters name, and they trick you into opening it and taking responsibility for it. When in true fact, you just send it back to them. Say, this is not me. That's not legal or tax advice, too. I mean, there's different things you can do. But, yeah, they're writing to the dead legal fiction. The legal fiction is created when someone informed the government that there is a new vessel in town based upon your birth. The birth certificates are issued at birth, just as ships are given birth certificates, B-E-R-T-H. Your mother has a birth canal, just like a ship. All of the information relates to how the general public are still legally tied through admiralty law, through this ancient legal construct which can be easily controlled. Learning about your legal fiction helps you to unlock yourself. Otherwise, you are just a vessel floating on the sea of commerce. It is possible to be free from financial stress and debt. So basically, parents are tricked into registering the birth of their babies. In about 1837, the Births and Deaths and Marriages Act was formed in the United Kingdom, and the post of Registrar General was established. His job was to collect all the data from the churches, which held the records of the births. Now, when you registrate something, people think that we're actually separate and distinct from the United Kingdom, and but it's the crown, basically. The crown operates with the from the Vatican. They operate the financial arm of it, and the bar attorneys, even our bar attorneys, these are basically pirate ships in dry dock, and they're just here collecting for the bankruptcy, which the United States Corporation is bankrupt. So basically, everything that they have is basically what we've been given too. The names are a little bit different, but so when you registrate, the first 5 letters, Regis, means from the Queen or Crown. All people are seen to be in custody of the Crown. This allows people to function in commerce and to accept the benefits provided by the state. So yeah, we are in custody. It's like when a cop pulls you over or stops you, you are under arrest, basically. Custodial arrest. We all are. At any given time, we're under custodial arrest. You have no rights. There's no freedoms. You're basically like a sailor giving liberty. It's not freedom. You have liberty. It's the captain of the ship allows you to come out here and be a free-range debt slave until you take back your estate. So this is a worldwide situation. I mean, today you even look at it's the 9th of April. 2017. What's going on in Syria? And I mean, it's not really about gas attacks and missile bombs and ISIS and all this bullshit. I mean, they create ISIS and send them in there, and under the United Nations, whenever there's terrorism, that's a worldwide war on terror. So they create the terrorists and send them in there and go, hey, we got to come into your country because the fucking terrorists are blowing shit up and killing people. You know, and by the way, we want to change the regime. So in Syria is one of the only countries that isn't under the control of the International Monetary Fund. I mean, they don't have a central bank. So they're still like actually free. And that's why they're being invaded right now. That's the New World Order. That's all it is. And you're going to have, I think Russia's already under this, and then Iran. So, I mean, World War III is coming. Under the International Monetary Fund, the majority of people are fed, sheltered, and provided for. However, now it is the system that is benefiting while many are suffering. They're poorly fed, housed, and water is contaminated. Many people are now getting sick and dying as a result. Not to mention that the people evolve. They now seek to be independent and of any system that seeks to control or oppress and harms the earth. And this is all taking place right now. But yeah, we all have legally elected representatives, but they're controlling our trust, you see. They're not actually there for the flesh and blood human being. They're there for these Cestui Que trusts and divvying up the money and creating more statutes and codes, which in turn, statutes and codes have a monetary value attached to them, which in turn pay back the bankruptcy, the money that they borrow from the International Monetary Fund. The City of London is a center for markets where merchants work, and there's mercantile law, comes from admiralty. I mean, that's why I say these are pirates, but they're highly intelligent pirates. We've all been dumbed down through vaccines and GMO food and things like that. I mean, when a baby first is born in the United States, they give them a hepatitis B shot. I mean, you would have to be a sexually active intravenous drug user to get hepatitis, and then you ask them, well, why do you give them this? Well, you know, you probably want to get it eventually, so we're just going to give it to you now. It's full of mercury and basically gives you a chemical lobotomy. So the slaves on the plantation remain stupid and never wake up to the real problem that's going on here. Anyway, I'm going to cut this off here. Go to stopthepirates.blogspot.com. There's remedies available, and we all need to get this information out and help our fellow human beings. Thanks. Have a great day.